In the heart of a forgotten town, surrounded by dense forests and a near-permanent mist, is a house everyone avoids. Ancient, grim, full of broken windows and walls covered in moss. A place where silence is interrupted only by whispers no one should hear. They say the house keeps the voices of those who died there, and whoever dares listen ends up lost forever. This is the story Lucas, a young investigative journalist, will face. What he will find in that house is beyond his mind's comprehension. Lucas had always been driven by curiosity and the desire to unravel the unknown. When his editors suggested investigating Ashwood's forgotten local stories, he saw the perfect opportunity. The town had a reputation for tranquility, but carried rumors of inexplicable events, disappearances, and an old mansion known as the House of Whispers. Arriving in Ashwood, Lucas was met with suspicious glances and semi-open doors of homes that seemed to carry ancient fear. He felt the weight of that different place, where even the wind seemed to murmur secrets. The local bar, frequented by the few residents, was his first point of contact. There, he heard the first versions of the mansion's story. Evelyn Harrow, the last resident, mysteriously disappeared 50 years ago, and since then, no one dared set foot there after dark. Intrigued, Lucas decided to visit the house the next day, despite the warnings. The next morning, Lucas awoke to a thick fog enveloping Ashwood. The air was cold and damp, and the city's silence seemed even heavier than the night before. With a backpack, he set out towards the House of Whispers. As he approached, Lucas's heart raced. The house seemed like a silent monstrosity, with its old wooden facade cracked and windows blurred by dirt and time. The rusty, ajar iron gate creaked as it was pushed, as if warning he was crossing a forbidden threshold. A shiver ran down Lucas's spine, but he decided to continue. Each step he took echoed through the abandoned yard, covered with dry leaves and broken branches. The shy sun barely penetrated the tall trees surrounding the property, creating elongated and distorted shadows. Upon entering the front door, which creaked loudly as it opened, Lucas was met by a strong smell of moldy and rotten wood. The air felt heavy, almost solid, making it difficult for him to breathe. The flashlight he carried flickered, casting shadows that seemed to dance across the dirty walls. The silence was profound, broken only by small creaks from the wooden floor and the distant sound of dripping water. But suddenly, a low, almost inaudible whisper came down the corridor, making Lucas freeze for a moment. He swung the flashlight, searching for the source, but saw nothing. Determined not to let fear overcome him, Lucas advanced to the main room, where an old wall clock was frozen at 3:15. On the floor, scattered yellowed papers revealed fragments of old diaries, with disconnected sentences and crossed-out words, as if someone had tried to erase their secrets. While flipping through one of the papers, Lucas felt a chill and heard the whisper again, now clearer, like a female voice murmuring his name. Fear began to settle in, but curiosity prevailed. He was there to discover the truth. He had no idea that it was just the beginning of a night that would change his life forever. Night fell quickly over Ashwood, and the darkness seemed to swallow everything around the House of Whispers. Lucas lit a small fire in the yard to try to ward off the biting cold, but the sense of unease only grew. He knew that soon he would need to return inside the house, where the real mystery awaited. With the flashlight in hand, Lucas returned to the mansion's interior, this time determined to explore the upstairs bedrooms. The stairs creaked under his weight, each step a sentence leading him deeper into the house's darkness. In the corridor, old faded portraits seemed to observe him with empty eyes. The atmosphere was dense, and a subtle metallic odor mingled with the smell of mold. The absolute silence was interrupted only by a faint whisper that seemed to come from all corners. Opening the main bedroom door, Lucas felt an intense cold pierce through him. The room was filled with furniture covered in yellowed white sheets, and in the center, a canopy bed with tattered curtains. On the nightstand, an open old book lay, its yellowed pages revealing handwritten letters in shaky black ink. While reading, Lucas discovered excerpts from Evelyn Harrow's diary. Despairing words spoke of voices that pursued her, shadows that inhabited her room, and an invisible presence that terrorized her every night. "They don't let me sleep. There's no rest for those who know the truth," said one of the passages. Suddenly, the door slammed shut and the flashlight flickered. In the reflection of the old mirror, Lucas saw something move behind him, an indistinct figure with blurred contours as if caught between worlds. His heart raced. He turned slowly, but the room was empty. The whisper turned into a persistent murmur, calling his name, enveloped in sadness and anger. The house was alive, and it seemed to want to tell its story, or perhaps trap Lucas forever in its maze of horrors. If this story chilled you to the bone, there's more where that came from. Like, comment, and subscribe for weekly true horror stories that will keep you up at night. And remember, some stories are real. Are you sure you want to hear the next one?